Welcome to Cookbook Chronicles. Today we are going to be going over one of the 7 moles of Oaxaca, Mexico, and that is Mole Amarillo. Mole Amarillo is one of the 7 iconic moles of Oaxaca, as I've stated before. It stands out for its vibrant color, a lighter texture, and complex flavor profile. It's known as the quote yellow mole, and it showcases its unique fusion of pre-Hispanic indigenous traditions with Spanish influence introduced in the 16th century. Unlike the dark chocolate-infused moles such as mole negro, mole amarillo relies on a unique blend of local chilies, herbs, and spices to create a bright aromatic sauce that is a lot lighter and spicier. Rooted in the culinary heritage of the Zapotec and Mixtec peoples, Mole Amarillo's history begins in the rich valley of Oaxaca, where ingredients like maize, chiles, and herbs have been cultivated for centuries. Pre-Hispanic Oaxaca saw the creation of complex sauces used in ceremonial dishes, reflecting the importance of maize and local herbs. The arrival of the Spanish introduced new ingredients like garlic, cumin, and cloves, as well as techniques like frying and slow cooking. This blending of ingredients and methods laid the foundation for Oaxacan moles, each evolving to reflect the resources and cultural practices of the region. Mole Amarillo's distinct flavor comes from a careful balance of local ingredients. Each contributes to its characteristic yellow-orange hue. So the chilhuacle amarillo is a rare yellow chili that is native to Oaxaca, and it offers a mild heat and a rich flavor, kind of tobacco-y flavored, if you will. But if that's not available where you are, guajillo chilies or costeño chilies will be your substitutes that you would use. The tomatillos, they add a little bit of tartness and a bright acidity that balances the warmth of the chilies. The other chilies I use are the Chile Taviche, the guajillos as well that I used just to kind of give it a little bit more of that reddish orange hue, if you will, and the Chile Costenos that I used. Um, that's going to give it a little bit more of the smoky flavor. Another interesting addition to this mole is masa, or the corn dough that's used as a thickener here instead of your traditional nuts or seeds. Is not necessarily uncommon, but usually when masa is added to any mole, it's in the form of an already pressed tortilla. This I used Masa Harina, which you see here being put into the chicken stock, and it just has such a strong way of thickening that a little goes a long way. But I believe the most interesting herb that gets placed into this mole is the hoja santa, or yerba santa. So it has this very sarsaparilla or root beer-esque flavor to it, and it grows in this beautiful heart shape, but it's just so good, and it just is a phenomenal herb. Very green, very bright, and just luscious. You'll be able to find it dried, most likely here in the States, but if you're lucky enough to find a farmer or someone that's growing it, I'm lucky enough to know farmers, and I've gotten cuttings of hoja santa, and I grow one in my house. It's not very happy in the small pot that it's in, but it's still alive and it's still producing leaves. One day I will move it into a bigger pot and let it kind of grow up a little bit more. The preparation of this mole is actually a lot easier than most moles that you would make. Uh, you begin by either toasting or frying the chilies. You don't have to do this step, but everyone kind of makes their moles completely different, and it's just a tradition that gets passed down family to family. But I tend to enjoy doing some chilies toasted, some fried, and some that are just soaked in hot water. I'll usually blend uh, all of them together one way or another, but I feel like it unlocks a lot of the oils that are in the chilies, and it just unlocks another like flavor aspect of certain chilies. So I play around a lot with frying and toasting different chilies to kind of get different flavor profiles I'm looking for. Um, but uh, as you've seen me cooking into this beautiful yellow mole, I kind of go in layers. So each layer just builds flavor upon flavor. So it takes time, but definitely it does not take as much time as, say, a mole negro or mole puebla. One thing that really makes this mole shine is the addition of this pasilla and onion rajas. As you can see here, I am toasting my pasilla chili. The blowtorch method for this works extremely well because it's able to get high heat to the skin of the chili and not necessarily cook the chili and get it soft. One big issue when toasting these chilies is that they tend to cook really fast, so it's a lot more difficult to get the whole chilies. Again, I have an electric burner, so this is the only way I could really truly toast and like char my pasilla chilies. And honestly, this is the best way to do it. You'll see as I peel the chilies a little bit later on in this video. Now, the cultural significance of Mole Amarillo is an integral part of Oaxacan family gatherings and community events. It's often served at weddings, birthdays, and traditional festivals like Dia de Muertos, Day of the Dead. Its preparation, again, isn't that labor intensive, but traditionally the whole family would gather and assist with making these, and they reflect upon its deep cultural significance and roots, and the value of passing down the knowledge from generation to generation is very, very welcome. Each family often adds its own twist to a recipe, resulting in a subtle flavor variation that honors personal and regional heritage. More often than not, though, you'll find this mole more towards the coast of Oaxaca, and its lighter flavor leans and pairs very, very well with a multitude of different vegetables and meats. I am doing chicken here. You could do this with potatoes, chayote. You could even serve this with pork, beef, fish. It's just such a versatile mole to use and make. And the addition of chochoyotes, which I'm making here, those are masa dumplings. And I try to kind of use everything that I have available. So when I peeled my tomatillos, I saved the husks and washed them really quickly and boiled them into my water to make the chochoyotes. And as you can see now, I'm peeling the pasilla chilies, and they're so firm I'm actually able to like firmly like get my finger into the chili and get the charred remnants off of the chili without the chili breaking, ripping, or tearing. It just works extremely well using the blowtorch to char these chilies. One thing you do not want to do is rinse the seeds or the charred skin under water. That just makes you lose all the flavor of the chili, and you did all this hard work right here. Then you go and run it underneath some cold water. You dip it in some water to get the seeds and the skin off. Like, don't do that, please. Um, you'll just lose again all your flavor, and it's not ideal. A little bit of char is okay. Having a little bit of seeds in your rajas is okay. Like, nothing has to be perfect all the time. So again, like, you'll live, you'll learn how to get your seeds out. Um, you'll see me removing seeds differently in the next couple minutes. So, you know, figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Sometimes doing different techniques works better for others than it does for myself, and vice versa. Now that you have your rajas cut, um, go back to making your chochoyotes. You would have allowed your masa to rest a little bit. Typically, I let it rest for about 10 minutes. This way, all the hot water is able to absorb into the masa harina. And you make these cute little chochoyotes or masa dumplings with your hands. Stick your finger in it, and yeah, you have these beautiful little masa dumplings. Um, Play around and see what works for you and what doesn't. Um, you know, you could try the back of a spoon, like so. And if that doesn't work for you, I personally don't enjoy using it, but finger's kind of the way to go. Get these beautiful chochoyotes. You will want to keep the chochoyotes covered until you're ready to add them to your mole. What I'm adding to the mole now is the hoja santa strips that I cut. And they're not going to be the most beautiful color as they're sitting in there and cooking, but they are going to impart so much flavor to the mole that you'll be slightly upset if you forget to add this to it. While this continues to simmer, you have the chicken in your mole cooking. Finish your rajas. Get your onion julienne, saute it, add in your pasilla chiles, and cook those until the onions are translucent. Once your chicken's been cooking in the mole with the hoja santa for about 20-25 minutes, go ahead and add your chochoyotes because that is going to take about 30 to 35 minutes for those to poach and cook in the mole, and then they'll cook all the way through. Typically, the way that you'll know they're done cooking is by noticing them floating to the top of the mole. If they're bigger, they might still sink, but just grab one, taste it, and if it tastes like the texture of a tamale, or um, if it doesn't really taste like raw masa, you know it's done. Finally, you're going to plate this in a bowl or a plate, but pull one of the chicken thighs out, baste it with that delicious mole amarillo, serve yourself a few of the chochoyotes, add some of your rajas on top of your chicken, and you're good to go. Like, enjoy it. The mole will get a little spicier as it sits, so the best way to enjoy mole, in my personal experience, has been allowing it to sit overnight and just meld and develop more flavor, and have it the next day. It comes out so much better, and it just tastes so much better because everything has been able to sit and marry overnight. But this is it. Simple. It does take a little bit of time, but it's well worth it. Enjoy your Dia de Muertos, and I hope you make this mole at home. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I look forward to you coming back and checking out my other videos. Thank you.